And we are live. Hello, and welcome again to the new season of Burnout and Beyond. In season two of Burnout and Beyond, we are looking to not just explore the individual stories of burnout that people, professionals experience, but we want to also dive deeper into a more broader macro experience from the workplace setting to understand more deeply how it affects workplace environment, a culture, and productivity. And today, I am pleased to open this season with Gian Ade-Oshifogun. We'll start over. I wasn't
You did
looking
so
at your name.
well.
Oshifogun. All right, we'll
That's
start
it.
over again.
Okay.
It helps when I have it in front of me. I
I
was like,
know.
letters. I missed the letters in my head. Bloopers. So let's run it again. Let's run it again. Hello and welcome again to Burnout and Beyond. This is the opening episode of season two. In season two, we are focused on the impact that burnout has in workplaces, in the culture, in the productivity, and in the life of the organization. And to open our first episode today, I am pleased to have Gian Ade-Oshifogun. Gian, welcome to the space today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Gian, would you tell us about who you are? You know, that 30-second pitch, that elevator pitch. If you tell us who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I am an HR professional. I have been in the HR space for about 10 years now. I started more on the employment side of things, but I truly found my passion on the benefits side of things. So a lot of people just think HR, it's all about recruiting and discipline and all of that stuff, but I'm more on the benefits side of things. So when you have questions about your medical coverage, I'm the person that you would call. So I've been in that space, and I really like it because benefits does have to do with the workplace, and it is an incentive to make someone want to come to work or want to contribute to the organization. So I'm excited to explore our conversation in that aspect of HR.
Awesome. We're gonna dive into that in just a bit. As you talk about the benefits that you support the staff and teams in the organization with, what are some of the what would you say the challenges are that often get in the way of people either knowing about their benefits or fully utilizing them?
Yeah, that is a really good question. And just recently in my organization, we were just talking about that because I believe for whatever reason, unfortunately, the salary is what everybody cares about when they're either interviewing or when they're working for an organization. I feel like they just think that, oh, that's all I need. But I do believe that education is happening, and we're getting to a point now where people are looking at the total rewards package. You know, what does my PTO look like? Which goes straight into, not burning out, right? So, and then of course, the medical coverage, dental, vision, all of that. Do they focus on well being as an organization? What benefits do they have in that realm? So I think education is where it's really at. And unfortunately, some organizations just lack in that. Um, they do that initial, welcome to the team, welcome to this
Mhm,
organization, and these are the benefits. And it's usually like what, 30 minutes, an
mhm,
hour,
mhm.
and then that's pretty much it. There's no oh, we just brought on Headspace and this is what it's about. You should try it out. It's at no cost to you. And all that stuff. It's either the organization doesn't educate their employees enough, or they don't have the budget, unfortunately, to have those benefits or explore those options. So to me, I believe those are the two things that I believe a lot of people run into as far as the obstacles of not knowing about their benefits or having options of benefits.
Wow. Okay. Now that's extremely important. The budget, let's deal with the budget side of things. When it comes to budgets for these benefits and even for marketing them within the organization, what have you seen to be, or from either your organization or just other organizations that you're familiar with and other HRs that you're connected with? What is the budgetary challenge to the education side of letting the employees and teams know about their benefits?
That's a good question. I don't know if I understand your question correctly. I don't know if there are budget constraints when it comes to the education side of things.
Okay. Okay.
Because I mean, to me, at least from my experience, that can be as simple as going back to the benefit orientation that you get at the beginning
Sure.
of starting with an employer. It can be as simple as someone literally sitting down with you, it not being a 50 people in a benefit orientation,
Mhm.
or just as simple as also a phone call, someone actually sitting, like taking the time to answer questions that you may have as an employee. But what I do find, though, as a challenge from the organization standpoint is two things. Of course, going back to the budget, and then the top management not seeing the importance in having different benefits and being sold out, and not a team player, but just advocate is the right word, an advocate for, we should explore more about well-being, what options there are, different, I don't know, meditation apps, or
Mhm.
different things, that different benefits that they can bring on to truly highlight well-being in the organization. So yeah, on the education side, I'm not sure if it's a budget situation, but definitely bringing on other benefits is definitely a budget that if you don't have the approval and sign off from the top
Mhm.
management, you won't get anywhere.
No, that makes sense. And that aspect almost flows into the impact on culture within the organization, and
Hmm.
and even how people are motivated within the organization.
Hmm.
So, the scenario is you have these benefits actually in place, but if there's a culture that doesn't encourage you to actually utilize them or explore the full extent of them, that there can potentially be that, I don't want to say job place hazard, but the the incongruency between what you actually have access to and what you have full advantage of utilizing.
So to bring your point to life,
Mhm.
I used to work for an organization that had a benefit where you could get, I believe it was like one massage session a month, as it was part of the sorry, the benefit package, right? Or the
Mhm. Yeah.
medical part, the medical side of things.
Okay.
So it literally, you would just find a massage therapist, and then you would just file your claim, and it would be covered. Literally one session a month.
Wow.
And going back to the education part, a lot of people didn't know about it, right? And then
Mhm.
what I found out when I started working with the company, and it aligns perfectly with what you just said, the benefit administrator, let me caveat this. It was a not-for-profit organization, so that
Okay.
of course comes with a whole nother budget situation,
Sure. Sure.
right?
Sure. Sure.
So
Sure.
it
Sure.
was a not-for-profit organization, and the benefit administrator was very tight with that information. She would not let people know because in her mind, this is just, it's a benefit, but it's a cost. And, people shouldn't abuse it, like it was just her personal opinion and mindset that she imposed on everybody else. But this is a benefit that obviously the organization is okay with. It's implemented in the cost, so it doesn't really take anything away from it. But for whatever reason, one person stopped the whole benefit or the whole education or communication. It could be as simple as an email, that, hey, did you know that you had this benefit? So the culture and the culture and true good understanding of all your benefits is what will make all the difference. And of course, if it is an organization that actually prioritizes those different benefits that are beneficial to their employees.
Wow. No, this is extremely important. There's a saying, it's a colloquial saying that like one monkey don't stop the show. But
sometimes they do.
Sometimes, like, here's the thing. Sometimes these sayings that we kind of take to be universally true have some caveats to them. Particularly when we're talking about teams and there being interdependency on resources that are provided for me to be productive and to have the longevity to stay in my job, and turnover and all of these other things that are affected, that are really tied into well-being. And something as simple as that can be not only stress relieving, but a lot of the times when I go, it's also educational. Because the massage therapists are informing you of your trigger spots, and if you get a decent one, they're informing you like, hey, this is a problem area, and so it just kind of helps you be more self-aware, alongside with just beyond the mere benefit of having access to it. And so, wow, that's something that's extremely important. And so, for maybe you can't speak directly to the the HR representative that did this, but what do you say to the other HR representatives and leaders, upper management leaders that are listening today, as to the importance that they play in the culture and the well-being of the teams?
This is going to sound harsh, but I'm going to still say it. If you don't agree with the company culture or the values of the company, get out of the way. Whether it is, they're promoting well-being and I don't think it's important, let me just not work for this organization. Or the other way where, this is important to me and this company organization doesn't value it as much. So I'm just gonna, I don't feel comfortable in this organization. That is the harsh part of things. But, some people sometimes are like, I do want to make the change. So they fight for it, and it's how do you say, commendable work. But it's like, I feel like sometimes it's like work on top of work, because your job as a benefit administrator is to already highlight what's there, but then to add on, I need to fight for this as well. It's, I'm just fighting everybody at this point. It's just kind of like, where does your well-being, exactly, where does your well-being come into play? But I do believe, unfortunately, it's not like, we're doctors that we take a, sworn statement, or lawyers that we are bound to, let everybody know about their benefits. But as just another human being, it is important for us to highlight these things, to communicate these things. And again, so many times we think it has to be extravagant. We have to have all the logos. We have to have all the banners. Honestly, it can be as simple as just an email, or it can be in our conversations. It could be coffee and talk, come learn about your benefits, and just a simple presentation, that we can proactively communicate about people's benefits that they are entitled to. Let's not forget that. It's part of the total rewards. As employees, we're entitled to, I mean, depending on the size of the organization and all that good stuff, we're entitled to medical coverage. Use your PTO. Don't let it go to waste. You're literally, and this, I'm very adamant about this.
Yeah.
When you don't use your PTO, you're throwing away money. Okay, especially if it's an organization that if you don't use it, you stop accumulating, or if it's a situation of you won't be able to take over, into the new year, PTO that you have left over. Like, we need to start thinking about these things aside from just a salary, aside of just, how much premium do I pay a month for my medical coverage? Like, there's so much more that we need to take into consideration. And as a benefit administrator within the HR world, it is our responsibility to let people know of these things.
Wow. There's been emphasis on PTO, in the wake of being on the heels of the pandemic and those various things that have all kind of converged over the past couple of years. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. Have you seen, and maybe from past studies or even recent studies, have you seen a change in how people use their PTO?
I don't know if there's a change in how people use PTO. I do think, well, two things I will say. I think a part of it is generationally. I do believe that, the boomer generation, they were all about work, right? And some of the boomer generation, unfortunately, might have instilled that work ethic in children, millennials, or I think it's millennials, right? That are children of boomers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, yeah, whatever it is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Generation Y, and then millennials.
Right. That makes sense.
Go ahead.
That makes more sense. But yeah, I do believe that that our mentality is what will affect our work ethic. And if we change, and this is why I literally tell my husband this all the time, because he is that typical Nigerian manly man. I'm gonna work and provide for my family, which is why I married him. But he's that typical, like, he has PTO, he has sick days, and he just doesn't take advantage of it, and it's just the mentality. So I think changing the mindset that this is literally, we're throwing money away, is one aspect in changing our from a generational point of view, just pass down that mindset. And then the other side of things is what I'm seeing, and I'm sure you've observed this as well. Organizations are changing the way they go about PTO. A lot of in the tech world specifically, they're switching to the unlimited PTO. And as a benefit administrator, I am totally against that. And it is my personal opinion. And maybe,
okay, yeah, sure.
I am totally against it because it says unlimited, but it's not truly unlimited in the eyes of your manager. I don't care I don't care unless your manager truly takes that unlimited work into perspective. But if they have to answer to someone else, they need you to work. So I would prefer to have a set bank of days that I'm working with. I work a specific amount of hours. I get these days, or whatever the situation is. But I would prefer a clear communication of what I have, what is to me, than it's just, whenever you want to, just go ahead, and it's just because it's more so like, I'm going to take a PTO, and then they're like, well, we have this project, or yeah, sure, but then they hold it against you because you didn't contribute to the, so it to me, Blank statements don't work for me. Maybe it's my type A personality, but blank statements, just the illusion of something or just like do whatever you want, is not conducive. Tell me what I have and we'll go from there, you know?
Wow. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's almost a, I hate to use this term, but it's almost a marketing scheme in the rewards
Correct.
package. Yeah.
Correct. 100%. A hundred
Yeah.
percent. Because literally, if you look at job postings, it's either the first point that they list as a benefit, or at least let me say
Wow.
that's the top five. The top 5 points that an
Mhm.
organization lists: unlimited PTO. It's in the top five of benefits, and then medical and everything else will come at the bottom, right? Because it is, maybe it's generation. I don't know what it is, but it is a marketing tool for sure.
Wow. 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 No, that's perspective. And I wanna go back just a moment to what you said about the inner workings of an organization being healthy, but me being a part of a familial or generational perspective that may not be in alignment with a healthy workplace culture. And sometimes it can be like, well, it's work, or and sometimes people may not necessarily blame their work for why they are burning out or why they are having a deficient well-being. But I love what you said about just seeing the connection between how I've generationally been taught. I've been familially rather indoctrinated and
Hmm.
cultured to see the world. How I bring that to work with me. That's not something that I just drop off and I'm only here for
Yeah.
this culture. It's the melding of these cultures together,
Yeah.
and there are kind of lines of demarcation, invisible lines of demarcation, that we say like that's as far as I can go, or I
Hmm.
will go. And yeah, that's something that's extremely important, because if we aren't doing that work of self-awareness and self-acceptance, and then we can still find ourselves, even in a healthy culture, burning out unnecessarily and not be aware of it sometimes.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
we, in our heads, we're saying, I'm upholding, whatever the cultural background is, I'm upholding the honor of my culture.
Hmm.
And so uh, this is honor. This is not burnout.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and so while the opportunities from the workplace and the benefits package there provide you to explore beyond the realms of
Yep.
comfort and familiarity that you may have. So yeah, that's something that's deeply powerful. How do you, I know you mentioned about seeing it in terms of you're losing money. Does the light bulb come on for uh, employees when they hear that they're losing money by not utilizing some benefits?
I can say it when it came on for my husband. I can say that. And
Hey, listen.
it did because I've heard him say it to his colleagues,
Mm.
so I think, because when you value money, which we all do, we all need it, it's
Oh,
important,
absolutely.
it's a way of
It's next to
living.
breathing. No, 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 no.
Exactly.
It's next to breathing. Now stop breathing and see what happens.
Correct. Correct. So
Yeah.
if we value that, then it hits home a little bit. I feel like it
Yeah.
hits home,
Yeah.
like, yo, I'm literally, I have my PTO days. Because
Mhm.
again, I mean, it's not just a saying, it's practical. Literally paid time off. Paid. So you have
Mm.
these hours that you can use for something else and still get paid. So by still working, it's not that you're
Mm.
getting, like, it's not,
You're
again,
not getting more for that.
you're not getting more for working during those times. If anything, you're losing that paid time. Again, it depends on how the structure, of that benefit is for each organization, because it varies.
Yeah.
Sometimes Some organization, it just accumulates, and then if you leave the organization, you literally get that money paid. If you have, like, let's
Mm,
say I didn't use 20 days of PTO, when I leave the
yep.
organization, I'll get that paid out. So that, depending, that's why it's so important that education, that we are aware of how things are structured, how things are implemented. And it's not to use a system, it's to just not let the system take advantage of you. That's really what it comes down to,
Mm,
right? Because we
yeah.
don't want to throw away that pay time, and we
Right.
don't want to keep working and not get paid. So I do believe that it hits home when you
Wow.
frame it that way.
Hey, it's bad money management to not take your time.
Correct. That's what it comes down to.
That's bad money, man. That's bad econ. That's bad
Hmm.
econ. Wow, no, that's very insightful. And obviously we're talking about paid time off, but there are other benefits. If you're not well, and in some other area where it's not just rest or respite and refreshing that you need, but maybe it's something even more serious. There are countless stories that I come across in the nonprofit space of a faith as a faith leader, and you find people didn't tell their families they were sick, and you're just like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Like, why would you not utilize that? And even at work, people show up injured
Hmm.
instead of actually addressing the injury,
Hmm.
and getting the necessary support in order to be well. And no, that's just so important to see it as an investment in your longevity, but also in your economic um, wealth generation.
Yep.
This is a cog in your wealth generation strategy.
Yeah. Can I
um,
add a little bit to what
Go
you
ahead, go
just
ahead.
said?
Yeah.
Um, because one thing that a lot of people don't know, not a lot of people, I take it back. I do believe that between millennials and um, the younger generation, sorry, I don't have those memorized, but
No, it's all
um,
good. We're with you. We're with you.
okay, good. Um, we don't know and don't value the fact that most medical plans that are offered by employers, they include at least one annual well-being office visit,
Mhm.
covered at 100%. No copay, no nothing. You just go in and just get a blood work, get all the things. You can talk to, like, just anything. It's supposed to be a full screening.
Mm,
That, and if you were to do that just annually,
wow.
and this is where I hear my husband in my head, not only does the medical field, not only do they have a history of things over time, over a time period, but it's literally just a checkup. You can talk about, you know what, when I do this, I feel this way. It's been happening
Mm,
for, a year, and they can look into it. So just taking the advantage of that one annual checkup that is at no cost to you is important. You can catch a lot of things, to your point. You can catch a lot of things during that visit. But a lot of us don't know about it, don't take advantage of it, don't have time for it, unfortunately, because we're just go, 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 go.
yeah, yeah, and we're in a culture that awards burnout still,
Mercy.
and that's not something that's going to change anytime soon with
No.
the nature of capitalism, at least in America, and just the consumer driven market. These things are so important that if you want to last long, if you want to go far, you need to go together, not just with others and community, but with a healthy understanding of,
Mhm.
of how important your body is to the longevity. A
Mhm.
healthy body, a healthy you
Mhm.
is to the longevity of your goals, of your dreams, of even what you define as success. Um,
A healthy
yeah, no,
mind.
yeah, no, you can't replace it. You can't replace it
Sure can.
when it's gone. You've dropped so many gems, and somebody needs to go and check their benefits package after this
Yes,
conversation, and
correct.
make sure they have everything. They know what's available to them,
Yeah.
and that they've turned over every stone in order to
Hmm.
plan to utilize what is available, because this is a part of wealth generation. Otherwise,
Hmm.
you wasting your money, and really losing money, as you shared, from the rewards package that the organization provides. Gian, it has been a joy to have you here, to share your experience, your heart, your passion, with our audience. Just before you go, how can we, if we want to learn more about what you do, or maybe someone is interested in working with the organization, just because you sound like the HR representative they want to be teamed up with. How can we learn more about you and connect with you?
Absolutely. I mean, different methods. LinkedIn professionally is always the way to go. I'm not as I might not post, but I'm on it every day for the most part. So I do like interacting on there. So feel free to send me a message, and we can certainly connect that way. Instagram, somewhat as well. That's more of my fun side, if you will. But yeah, I'm happy to connect about any benefits. You can just shoot me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to assist if possible, if I'm able to. But yeah, thank you for having me on, and congratulations on season two. That's exciting.
Hey, appreciate it, GN. Hey, everyone, it has been a pleasure again. You've heard it from GN Ade-Oshifogun, and we've been blessed to have her here to share her wealth of knowledge and the impact that she is having in the organization that she currently serves in, for the employees. Hey, as always, we like to remind you that you're not alone in your experience with burnout. There are people around you to not only understand, but also are able to support you in your well-being. And always remember that burnout is an invitation to begin again. Peace out.
That was so good.